Well, I really like working with hand tools and just being able to take a block of wood and turn it into a final product, be it a piece of furniture or a guitar, a bouzouki, or a jewelry box, or whatever. It's just, I think it's just really cool that somebody can take wood and just make something out of it, make anything out of it that they want. And so just for me, it was guitars and bouzouki's, just because I'm also a musician and I've been playing music ever since I was a teenager, and that's just the path I took, was building musical instruments. I already had the basic skills of woodworking down. A lot of building an instrument, probably 70% of the work is just using basic woodworking knowledge of squaring up the wood and using hand tools, chisels, planes, rafts, spoke shaves, and to carve the wood and shape it. The things that are real specialized for instrument making is bending the sides. The wood on guitars is really thin for the body. It's probably 100 thousandths of an inch thick or so. And so the sides of a guitar have to be bent to shape. So that's a procedure that's specialized in instrument making, is bending the sides, and also making bridges and carving the neck and making fretboards. Those are procedures that are specific to guitar building that you don't see in other forms of woodworking. The Irish bouzouki is essentially a mandolin, except it's tuned an octave lower, has a much longer neck because it's tuned an octave lower, and it's tuned very similar to the mandolin. And it has a flat top and a teardrop shaped body, and the headstock is very similar to the mandolin as well. It works really well in Irish music because you get that real long sustain, and the way it's tuned, it sounds a lot like the bagpipes, the drone of the bagpipes. So how it's played is you let those high strings kind of ring out, and then you chord over top of that, and then it really fills out the sound and helps to accompany the melody players. It's mostly an accompaniment instrument, so it's for playing rhythm and chording as opposed to playing the melody. I don't really keep track of how long it takes me to build an instrument. I'm really afraid to, because I would say it takes probably about 150 hours to build one instrument. So I use lacquer as my finish for guitars, and that takes about 3 weeks to cure. And so after I spray the last coat of finish on, I have to let those instruments sit for about 3 weeks for the finish to cure before I can, attach the neck to the body and put the bridge on and do final setup work. So while those instruments are curing, I'll start on the next batch of instruments. And so I'm always working in stages. So when I have 2 instruments going into the spray booth, I'll have 2 more instruments starting. The whole process is done by hand, and I really think that you can hear a difference in the quality of the tone with a good handmade instrument. And there's just something about one person in control of every aspect of that instrument from start to finish that I think makes it unique and special. And I think they sound great, a good quality handmade instrument. You have to be able to build to a really high level of precision, even with hand tools, because people expect an instrument to be perfect, you know, because they're used to seeing these instruments that are built with CNC computer machinery, and they want their instruments to look that good. So I think in order to be successful as a luthier, you have to have a really good eye and have a high attention to detail to be successful at it. Well, building an instrument's pretty easy. You just start with a block of wood and just start carving away at it until it looks like a guitar, and then you're done. Yeah.